For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. Ever since his legendary interview with Shannon Sharpe, Katt Williams has been at the center of the conversation when it comes to black comedy. Several of his peers have began chiming in to respond whether or not they were even mentioned. With the conversation still ongoing, a rare interview from 1968 featuring Red Foxx has started to circulate online. In the interview from nearly 60 years ago, Foxx would speak on some of the same topics Katt would mention in his own discussion, which would range from things like joke stealing, stereotypical movie roles, and much more. The interview could easily be seen as a warning for those coming after him.
I hear some of my own material on television, and they won't let me do it, but still another guy can go on the show and do it. And then they get the young black comics and they twist their minds, and they talk about watermelon, and it's just young Stephen Fetchits and Mantan Moreland's repeat. I won't go that direction. I turned down 2 major roles in a Broadway show this year. 1 role in a movie that would have made a difference to me, but I just couldn't accept the part that they offered me. It was really going back before Civil War days, and shuffle, and I talk bad enough already. I don't need to put it on film, not for money,
Now, as stated before, the interview was recorded in 1968, several years before Foxx would become a household name, playing Fred Sanford in Sanford & Son. During the conversation, Foxx was asked why he doesn't take on more responsibility in the civil rights movement. His answer was that he considered himself a nightclub comedian. He will also go on to say that he could easily make the transition from nightclub comedian to television comedian if given the right script and opportunity. The reason why Foxx is so sure he's capable of making the transition is because he's seen his material on TV before, performed by other comedians.
Well, it has changed quite a bit, and with the, when Dick Gregory came to prominence, a lot of people figured, here's a guy that's doing something that's brand new for years. I had been doing it myself, was being in the right place at the right time.
This newly rediscovered video on Red Foxx is relevant while still dealing with the aftermath of Katt Williams' interview with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay. Back in 1968, black comedians were dealing with stereotypical offers from movie studios, and Foxx had the strength to decline those roles, without knowing if another opportunity would even come his way. Foxx knew who he was and who he didn't want to become. Some would say not many comedians in his position would do the same. Now, 55 years after the interview, black comedians are experiencing a similar issue. Katt's conversation with Shannon Sharpe would touch on black comedians wearing dresses, who some think is just as damaging to the black man's image as a Stephen Fetch or Mantan Moreland character. Foxx also spoke on hearing some of his own comedy material on television from different comedians. Now, if you've been following the Katt Williams saga, you know he would call out Cedric the Entertainer for stealing one of his jokes and using it for the original Kings of Comedy. In Foxx's interview, he would insinuate that the comedians he saw on television using his material were a safer option for the network than Red. Much like Katt Williams, who would insinuate that movie studios thinks Kevin Hart is a much safer option than Katt himself. It appears that Foxx's and others' warning about problems for black entertainers continues to still come up. But what do you guys think of this newly discovered video from Red Foxx, and are you surprised Katt Williams would face similar issues in his era? Let us know in the comments below. Stay up to date with the latest news and comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel. Check out Hype Market for all your cool and original merchandise. And for our YouTube viewers, if you like this story, send us a super thanks by hitting the button below, and you can tip us what you want to show your support. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Oh, you feeling my shirt? Well, I'll tell you where I got it from, but it's a bit of a secret. Nah, it's the Hype Market, thehypemarket.com. This is where I get all my exclusive pieces from black-owned to cool-owned brands. Every brand has a